Hello people of YouTube and welcome to another Photoshop tutorial. Last time we were talking about the text tool and everything that it can do. This time we're going to talk about I think it's probably one of my most heavily used tools in the, as we call it, the fucking around department of graphic design, which is just completely destroying photos and adding miscellaneous shit for absolutely no reason. So it's the mask tool, and basically it's a non-destructive method of editing images in. It's hard to explain. It's non-destructive, and basically what that means is when you erase something with the eraser tool, it is gone forever unless you bring it back with undo. You can't. There's no other way to bring it back other than undoing your erase. It's the only way to get it back, or bringing back a new copy of the image. So that's a destructive method, which means like it destroys it completely. You can't get it back. Non-destructive means that you're only hiding it or doing it in a way that it can be undone. No, I don't want. No, I don't want to do this. Go away. Okay. Silly Microsoft asking me questions. Anyway, what was it? Yeah, it's basically non-destructive, which means that it won't. You can do it in a way that it can be brought back at any moment without causing a huge amount of hassle. And it's just good practice to do it this way. It can be a slightly more confusing if you don't know how to do it, but it's better to do it this way. So we're just going to get cracking on in. I have an image here of Amy, my girlfriend, and an inexplicable gay man who is obviously trying to steal my girlfriend, because that's basically the mission statement of the gay movement, is to steal our girlfriends and hunt us down. So I'm going to disrupt their little rendezvous with the Stay Puft Man, because what better symbol of heterosexual rights than the Stay Puft Man, who is himself an avid heterosexual I don't know, what's the word? Rights person? Anyway, no, go away. We're going to do this with a mask. So this icon here, when you click on your layer, this little one here is add new layer mask, and it appears right beside your image on the layer, and you're going to be using the brush tool. So you go to the brush tool and you go to either black or white, and you just start rubbing. And you're probably wondering, but how am I rubbing out with a pen, the brush tool? That doesn't make any sense. Well, as you can see, now that you see some black appeared on your layer mask, black areas are hidden, white areas are seen. That's basically how a mask works. Anything that you paint in black will become hidden. So if I change over to the white and start brushing, still using the brush tool, as you can see, it comes back. So I never actually destroyed anything, I never erased it, I just hid it. Great. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut around the Stay Puft Man. Now you don't have to use the brush tool. You can select areas, like if I go onto the layer. One thing is, when you're actually making changes to the image, not the mask, you need to make sure that you're selecting one of the two, because I make that mistake more often than not, and I'm used to using the mask tool. So yeah, so obviously my wand tool is being a bit intolerant. So anyway, got a good enough selection that I can say I didn't go onto the layer mask. I'm too impatient. So black, and we're just gonna start. Oh no, that's bad. Just gonna start rubbing out bits that we don't need. This can take a while, by the way. If you want to do this right, this will end up taking quite a time, because like you end up having to go in and erase bits, bring bits back, and if you're dealing with something like hair or something like that, it can be quite difficult. My favorite method, because it does take time, my favorite method is to go in like this, do a real rough copy, and then come back. because I find that that just suits me better. Just blow it all up once, then come back and do damage control. This is basically my favorite method for masking in this manner. So as you can see, I've got a decent amount of the white gone. Now, see, I've used white, and that's a pretty easy thing, but you can do this with anything. So, like, it's basically an extraction tool is what I'm using it for now. I'm using it as an extraction tool. I'm going to slap up the hardness. Ooh, sexual innuendos, and I'm only fucking, what, 3 minutes in? Yay. So, I'm using it as an extraction tool, which means I'm extracting it out of its previous background so that I can put it into a new background and make it look nice. So you've learned a new word as well as a new tool. Good job, people. So, as you can see, I missed loads of bits, so I'm just going in with the other color, which is white, and bringing them back. I'm doing a very poor job at it. If you're lucky enough to have a graphics tablet, which I do, but I'm not using, because I'm trying to do the realistic experience of being a noob. If you have it, then you use it, because it is so much easier to use. Unless you have one you don't like it, I suppose. But I find it much easier to use than a mouse, especially for tasks like this. So if you got it, flaunt it, baby. I think... No, I'll not get into that. Alright, so as you can see, I've done it alright. That's alright, doesn't matter. But I left this square, so you're just going to have to come in and do things. Masks, you'll end up coming back to them a lot. Because you just do. You end up coming back to them a lot and fixing things, and see those halos, stuff like that. But now we have a basic extraction of our, what's his face? Our Stay Puft Man. So I'm going to put him in here behind this tree and make it look like he's peeking out behind the tree, ready to attack. But problem, he's in front of our guys, our people, our models. So we need to get rid of him. So now I can teach you a new tool. Yay. The Quickmask tool is a tool that I don't even know where it is at the moment because I'm just awake. Right, so if you press Q, you're in a tool called the Quickmask tool. It says it up here. This is how you know that you're in Quickmask. And basically what happens is when you have the brush and you try to paint, it will come through as this transparent sort of orange or red. That's red. Color, yay. So it comes through as this kind of transparent red, and you can do all your brush tools with it. But basically what it means is that any area affected by red when I come out of the Quickmask tool is going to be masked from altering. It's basically a selection tool. You can use it for selecting. That's a pretty good explanation of what it is. It'll be easier once I show you, as is the way. My words aren't coming out of my face properly, so I'll just show you. Press Q again, and this happens. I have a selection that excludes everything that I painted on. So, as you can see, like everything I painted doesn't get selected. It's been masked from a selection, and it's a great way to get quick selections, especially if you have a graphics tablet. I mean, you can use the lasso tool and dot around it, or you can draw around it. But this is another quick way for selection. So now that we have all this area selected, which is mostly this inexplicable gay man and the tree, we can go into the layer mask and start to erase it. And I didn't do a great job, but then again, that's not really what the Quickmask tool is for. But let me show you it. See, I can't affect anything on this side of the selection. So that's what it's used for. Control D to deselect. Don't know what I did there. And we're just gonna go in and start just painting him back in. See, I'm still using the mask tool, so it's all non-destructive. I'm not destroying our image with a giant Stay Puft Man. I don't know how you could possibly destroy something with Stay Puft. It's not even in the question. But there is our that's our quick little thingamajigger. Anyway, things you can do to masks that you might not have thought. You can still do effects and stuff to masks. Masks are just like another part of a layer. So if I go to filter, whilst the mask is selected, and blur it, it will blur the black and the white to the point that the mask will start to get blurry. So it'll start to reveal more. See? So I can do some really cool effects. Like if you think you've just done it too sharp, and you want to blur it up a little, with a white background like this, it comes off like kind of a glow. So it just blurs it out a little because sorry, masks are still subject to all the options that you've set. So if you set the hardness, you get a soft brush, and if you set the opacity down on your brush, I mean, it's still subject to all of Photoshop's options. It's just another form of layer. That's basically what it is. It's a layer mask. So that's really it with layer mask. One thing, once you right click, you get disable layer mask, all these options. So disable layer mask means take the layer mask and turn it off for a while, but don't get rid of it. So an X comes in it and you get to see everything. See, it wasn't destructive, I've still got everything. You can enable the layer mask and that brings it back. Then you can delete the layer mask, just get rid of it, just get your image back. You can apply layer mask, which basically means that that's the destructive form of this. That means that you apply it, everything that is currently on screen will stay on screen, everything else will get deleted. So there. Now I just have him. I don't have anything else. So I'm going to undo that because I want my layer mask. You can add the mask to selection. So everything that is painted black will get selected. Then you can subtract mask from selection, which basically means nothing. So if I had a square of selection and I go to control, subtract mask, see? Select everything. Well, you take away all the black. Or take away all the white actually, don't you? I don't know. But intersect mask with selection, which is like kind of like if you have a selection and then you intersect the mask, that's weird. Yeah, it takes your selection and removes parts that aren't also part of the mask. There, explanation. So it's like any part that would have been selected through both. God, that's a really bad explanation. People always say if you can't explain it simply, then you don't understand it. I do understand it. My math just isn't working properly. Any overlap between the layer mask and the previous selection you made will be selected. That's it. That's it. I do understand. Then you've got mask options, which is that's for your quick mask, and if you can change it if you want. It's preference, I suppose. You make it more opaque or not, depending on that's preference as well. So just leave that there. And now we can just start getting back into our fucking around. So I'm just gonna. Oh no, that's not what I want to do at all. Just want to get rid of this little line. Turn my opacity back up, and we'll just take the blur tool. So you can blur masks. Do everything that you can do to normal layers. Just blur this to make it a little bit more less sharp and obvious looking. And then we'll blur the Stay Puft Man because depth of field and stuff. Well, I didn't blur almost any. So depth of field. That's too blur. There we go. Now it looks like our Stay Puft Man is coming to break up this little rendezvous of my girlfriend and this guy's called Nathan. By the way, his name isn't Inexplicable Gay Man, although he'd probably like that title. So that's been a tutorial on masks. If I missed anything or you want to learn about something else, leave comments, or don't. Just kind of, I don't know, throw a coin in a well and hope that I hear your desperate pleas. That also works. I have a P.O. box for that sort of thing. I actually don't know what a P.O. box is. That just like a box? I think that's an American thing. Is that just... Someone answer that question. I don't care if this is like 30 years in the future and I've already figured out what it is. Someone comes across this video and says, I know what that is. Tell me what a P.O. box is. Explain it. Explain it just as well as I explained what intersectional air mask with selection is. Okay? So, thank you very much for watching. I shall see you later. Goodbye. Oh, God's sake!